Hello, hi everyone, this is Jean. I'm sorry it took me forever to come back to you guys for another book review. So for the last little bit, I read Siddhartha, such a beautiful book and I really enjoy. But however, I don't feel I could do it justice, because if I said it and I couldn't convey such a deep meaning of this beautiful book called Siddhartha, I would have done a not so great job. So it's one of my all-time favorite books. I deeply recommend it to you guys to read. Now today I am going to talk to you guys about a book called The Stories That the Souls Taught Me by Mr. Zhang Qizhen. Sorry, it's a Mandarin book, so I do not have his English name. Let's call him Mr. Zhang. Now, it's so funny, when I purchased this book, the moment I saw this cover, I knew this book was for me. And the moment I purchased it, my whole body, my whole soul just went, yay, and very excited. So I knew this was the right book for me. So I hope on this, it will provide you with some insight and guidance on whatever you are interested when it comes to spirituality. Now, right now, because this is the age of the last Dharma, it's important for us to really pay attention to what we do, because you will see a lot of crime. You will see a lot of things going on in this earth. And based on some of the study and some of the books I read, because there is the age of the last Dharma, a lot of cleanses happening on earth right now. There's a lot of cleaning that's going on, and you will gradually see people that also mention there is the new earth and there is the old earth. So if you are going in the path of more elevating your vibration, going in the higher instances, you will be in the new earth. And as soon as you are going in the more chaotic, the violence and crime and stuff, you will go back to the old earth. So you will see this merge happening, but there is a lot of cleanse that's happening. And that's why I wanted to illustrate it with one of the story of Mr. Zhang. And he has so much amazing, great stories that I will want to share with you guys afterwards, because there's a lot of great stories about spirits that he mentions, like how a lot of time the spirits will teach him a lot of great things and how to be kind and have a very good moral high ground. So a lot of time you will see they have much more of a moral compass than we as human do. So the story is that he mentions in the age of the last Dharma, you will see much more karma. Usually in the past, we remember karma, what happened in another lifetime, when it was in the 20th century. But now in the 21st century, there's going to be a lot of people that will get their karma right away in this lifetime. It's as if it's a transition going on, and that's like the cleanse that's happening right now. So for example, there's a story of a girl in the States. For fun, decided to steal a Heinz ketchup bottle from a restaurant. And she never did bad in her lifetime, and she just wanted to do it for fun with her friends. And for the last 2 weeks, she would just go through like accident after accident, a lot of bad luck. Freaked out, she actually bought 2 bottles of ketchup, and she returned it to the rightful restaurant owner and apologizing for the misconduct and misbehavior. So remember, whenever in this era, it's really important for you to watch out for your own behavior. Even for me, sometimes there are moments like I had to learn, okay, some things happen right away. As a kid, I would learn like, oh, can't do bad, it happens right away. So I always learn to never do bad or try to behave in the best way that I can. Now, something I wanted to mention about this story is that it's a local story about karma happening. Now, there was this big bully. So he is a local politician, and he was trying to become an MP, right? And he was actually doing a lot of corruption with construction company, with the rocking companies, and he would just like do so much corruption. All the people locally knew him. He was like the local gangster, but everyone was was afraid, but no one dared to utter anything. Now there was a old man, and he was not afraid to be a whistleblower, and he's like, what you're doing, how you're behaving is wrong, and I have proof. I'm going to go against you. And he showed it to the media. Of course, what happens is that this gangster goes to the media and says, I never did that. If I do this, I am going to eat his shit. Now, we have to understand he is actually acting like a gangster, right? Because he acts like a gangster, he will go and menace his opponent to say, hey, why are you denouncing me on all the wrongdoing that I'm doing? So one day he went to his house, he knocked at his door, but nobody was answering. So he decided to crawl on his wall. This is Taiwan, okay? By the way, he was crawling on the wall so he would reach out to his home, right? And he didn't know there was a septic tank there that were filled with urines and excrement, and he just crawled up and he fell into the septic tank. So he actually ate the shit of his opponent, right? Now, inside of this story, it tells us like, oh, a lot of things, when you do promises, it's important for you to keep, otherwise it could just like land on you, right? Now, after this happened, like, he was really, really embarrassed by this whole situation, especially I think it got covered by the media. So he said he will get his revenge. So on one day that was very dark, very stormy, he managed to hire an assassin and assassinate this man. So after that, the man got assassinated. Everyone knew it was him, but there was no proof. There was absolutely no proof to back up that he actually hired someone to assassinate him. So he goes to the local temple, and he goes to God and he says, God, I never assassinated this man. I never plotted this. If I did, I would get cut in the throat by the sword, and I will lose my head. So he make this like horrendous wish on himself if he did something wrong. Next thing you know, the local public noticed that he had a lot of corruption. So they filed paperwork to catch him, and he got caught and he was imprisoned. Once he got in prison, he was there for a couple of years, but he got released on good behavior. Of course, he didn't change. He is still the way he was. And what he did was one day he was throwing out a big party with his like local friends and things like that, and they started to eat fish. You know, a lot of Asian, we eat fish like we eat a whole fish, right? So there's gonna be a lot of fish bone in it. So he ate a piece of fish, and the fish bone got caught in his throat. No matter, he asked his subordinate to get it out for him, but nobody could. Keep in mind, they're all a little bit like gangster. So nobody got it out. And they were freaking out. They said, how come it got caught up that way? So they go to a local hospital in order to get it out. The local hospital said, sorry, this is a bit too much for the local hospital. I can't do it. So what happened is that he got transferred to a bigger hospital. Once he got sent to a bigger hospital, they said, oh, you know, this fish bone, it's very complicated. It's stuck in a place that we could seldomly like get it out. We have to perform an operation. And when they did an operation, it started to gather all kind of problem in his body system. Everything started to come out. And once he got out of the operation, it's as if he became a total different person. He began to become paralyzed, and then his head was always tilted. It's as if he had a stroke. Now we remember his promise. So he said, if I committed that assassination, I would get a sword cut through my throat, and also my head, I will lose my head, right? And he went on a very big, tall built man into a very shivering man, and he shrank a lot. And because Mr. Zhang at the time was running the local newses, so he went to visit, and he saw this man after 10 years, approximately after the operation. He was a shriveled, he was a very thin man. He was paralyzed, and you could see his legs, they were super thin, and because there was no muscles, and he was just like laying down, like, and being taken care of by his daycare nanny. And it was so bad because she wasn't even really taking very good care of him. Lifetime of what he did, he actually got the karma of what happened to him afterwards. It is still very sad to see. However, this being said, we have to be very mindful of how we live our day-to-day life. We have to watch out what we say out to this world, and it's really important for us to speak and be very authentic. In the spirit world, a spirit will actually carry keep their promise, and they're actually very ethical, much more than us human beings. So this is all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye bye for now.